Hello everyone, I'm Lindsay Moreland-Head, and this is a quick overview of my storyline project for EDIT6190 and our just online learning module. And so I went back and reviewed your comments from our storyboard and have tried to incorporate them. May have missed a few, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what you have since transitioning from the PowerPoint slides into storyline. I'm really looking for flow and if the triggers work, or if you have advice for how to tweak this to be more effective, realizing that you guys may not be content experts, and that's completely fine, but just making sure things flow appropriately and context and content looks visually appealing, or if you have ideas for layout and things like that. So I do have voiceovers all complete along with some animations. The last thing that I'm still working on that you won't find in this portion of the draft is my closed captioning. I'm still actively working on that, so that unfortunately will not be able to be reviewed, but everything else should be for the most part complete, and I look forward to your feedback. So as I have it laid out, we have our intro slide with a welcome voiceover. We have objectives that will fly in as the voiceover reads them, and there are 4 for this, and the content is broken down to match these 4 objectives. We have an overview, and something I had mentioned in my storyboard that you both had highlighted was to have it have the things as I talk highlighted. So that's what these green boxes are, but one appears at a time and then will fade out based on the voiceover component. This slide is one still, in addition to the closed captioning, one that I'm still working on, especially Duncan. I was reviewing your feedback, and I'm still going to tweak some of the spacing. Along with, you'll notice 2 of the 6 highlight when you click on them, so I'm still working out those triggers. And then if we go to our next scene, this talks about a normal right heart catheterization, and I agree with your feedback. Instead of hover, the users now have to click and they will get more information that pops up via alternative layers. So this is an example of one layer, and you guys will be able to interact with it. Additionally, similar to the previous slide that I was on, each one will have to be visited before the end user could move on, so they get all of the content and information. This slide is a good matching question for you guys to move on. I will tell you the right answers, and I'll post it in the comments so you guys can interact and use it, or you can do wrong ones. I do have to play with slightly the feedback for this slide as well. And then this is an additional slide for the last parameter to focus on. In the next scene, we just have, it's this one, classifications. Things fly in as the voiceover talks about them. Same for this, and this is kind of just focusing on the key parameters that I want them to take away, trying to keep that color-coded theme like I had in the storyboard layout. And ends with a multiple choice question. Then we move into our comparison. It's just a nice slide that summarizes everything, that has a good voiceover to go with it. And just to make this slide more interesting, there is a slight delay in the table coming in. Then we move into our cases. I had a little difficulty, so I'm looking for advice if you guys have any in using either pre-existing ones. So I ended up having to make these more multiple choice based, but have more options. I originally had planned on select all that apply, but was having difficulty getting it to trigger right. And so I think with this multiple choice way, I do have that, but if you have any advice on that or a link to share for me to better understand that, I'd be happy to know that. But I have my 3 cases. And this last case, because I was having issues with the multiple choice, is actually broken down into 2 segments to still get the point across that we're going to need 2 interventions. So I took out one of the other correct answers and asked it as an additional question, And these do have triggers for already set for like correct and incorrect that you'll see for each one, and I can also again provide answers for you in the comments. And then we just have a summary wrap up that has the just overview of everything that we reviewed. And again, this is a nice slide for my learners, so I brought it back for them. And then just another thank you slide that with a close out. I don't know if my face will be blocking this with the video, but with a close button so they could exit the course. And that is my overall thought process and themes. Like I said, the few things I'm working on are the closed captioning is the biggest one, a few tweaks to the when a right heart catheterization is obtained slide, and the first assessment question in there. I have to tweak the feedback. But other than that, this is what I'm working with, and I look forward to your feedback on triggers, layouts, if things flow correctly. Whatever you've got, another pair of eyes is fantastic, and thank you guys for your time.